Hi there, everyone, and welcome to another grammar review lesson with me, Teacher Donald. This grammar review lesson is for Unit 8 of our Grammar Goals book. First, I would like you to finish the sentence. So, say your sentence out loud. How would you finish this sentence? If I fail the next test, I will... What will you do, or what will happen if you fail the next test? I can give you a few ideas. Maybe if I fail the next test, I will study more. Or you could say, if I fail the next test, I will listen more. Or maybe you will try harder. Or maybe you will cry. Oh no, I failed the test. Let's try another one. If I get a perfect score on the next test, I will... How would you finish this sentence? Say your answers out loud. Here are some ideas you could have said. If I get a perfect score on the next test, I will be happy. Or I will keep working hard. Or if I get a perfect score on the next test, I will cry. Maybe they are tears of joy. So what you were just doing was using the first conditional. First conditional is when we start with an if clause, and then we talk about a likely future situation and its result. So if you do something, this will happen. So first we use the if clause with the simple present tense, and then the second clause uses will, the future tense. So if I clean my room, my mom will be happy. We have the if clause, then the subject, then we have the present simple, so the verb or don't and the verb, or verb plus s if we're talking about he, she, or it, or doesn't and the verb. Then we need a comma. Then we'll have something in there, usually another subject, and then will or won't, and then of course a period. If I clean my room, my mom will be happy. Or if it's a he, she, or it, if he cleans his room, his mom will be happy. So be careful if you need the S. Now we can also flip the sentences around. When we start with the if clause, it's the present simple and will plus a verb. If I clean my room, my mom will be happy. But we can flip it and put the will part at the front. So this will happen if I blah, blah, blah. So if we flip this one around, it looks like this. My mom will be happy if I clean my room. And if you notice, the first one, when we start with the if clause, we need a comma. If the if clause comes second, we don't need the comma. So a likely future situation and its result, when we flip it, my mom will be happy if I clean my room. We use will or won't and the verb, then if, then the present simple part, and then the period, but no comma this time. So my mom will be happy if I clean my room, and his mom will be happy if he cleans his room. Good job. Now let's practice a little bit. I want you to finish the sentence and then flip the clauses around. So you're going to finish and flip. So finish this sentence. If Thanos snaps his fingers, what will happen? If Thanos snaps his fingers, what will happen? Say your sentence out loud. Okay, here's a possible answer. If Thanos snaps his fingers, a lot of people will disappear. Now, can you flip it? Flip the clauses around. So put the if clause second. What would this sentence look like? Say it out loud. It should look like this. A lot of people will disappear if Thanos snaps his fingers. Okay, finish this one. If Bruce Banner gets angry, what will happen? Finish the sentence. If Bruce Banner gets angry, he will turn into the Hulk. Now, can you flip it? So put the if clause second. If you flipped it right, it'll look like this. Bruce Banner will turn into the Hulk if he gets angry. Okay, finish this sentence. If Ant-Man shrinks, what will happen if Ant-Man shrinks? A lot of things could happen. I wrote, if Ant-Man shrinks, he will ride a flying ant. Now, can you flip this sentence around? If Ant-Man shrinks, he will ride a flying ant. Just flip it. If you flipped it right, it looks like this. Ant-Man will ride a flying ant if he shrinks. Okay, how about this one? If Captain America falls down, what will happen if he falls down? If Captain America falls down, he will get back up. Now, can you flip this sentence and put the if clause as the second clause? If you flipped it, it sounds like this. Captain America will get back up if he falls down. Okay, this one could have a few possible answers. If Hulk and Thor fight, what will happen? Maybe you said if Hulk and Thor fight, Thor will win. Now, can you flip it? Thor will win if he fights Hulk. Now, maybe you said if Hulk and Thor fight, Thor will lose. Can you flip this sentence? If you flip it right, it looks like this. Thor will lose if he fights Hulk. It's usually a pretty fair fight. How about this one? If the Avengers don't stop Thanos, they're friends. What will happen? Or what won't happen? If the Avengers don't stop Thanos, their friends won't come back. Like Spider-Man. Aw, poor Spider-Man. Now, can you flip this sentence? If you flipped it, it looks like this. The Avengers' friends won't come back if they don't stop Thanos. Okay, only a few more. Finish this one. If Captain Marvel doesn't help the Avengers, they meaning the Avengers. If Captain Marvel doesn't help the Avengers, they won't defeat Thanos. Can you flip this one? If you flipped it right, it looks like this. The Avengers won't defeat Thanos if Captain Marvel doesn't help them. Good work. Now let's talk a little bit about modal verbs using may, might, and could. We use these modal verbs for possible events. If we're sure something will happen, we use will. But if there's a kind of a less likely chance, we could use could, may, or might. So could, may, and might, could not, may not, and might not. But there's one of these we don't really use. We don't use could not. Not really sure why, what the rule is or the reasoning, but if you're using a negative, just use may or might not. So what's the difference? Pandas could disappear, pandas may disappear, pandas might disappear. What's the difference? Well, they kind of mean the same thing. There's a possibility that pandas will disappear. Now, which one of these do we not use? Pandas could not survive, pandas may not survive, or pandas might not survive. So one of these is not used in a negative possibility. That would be pandas could not survive. So if we're using a negative, just use may not or might not. Now, using the words at the bottom, can you answer this question? What might happen if we let poachers keep hunting? Poachers are people who kill elephants for their tusks. So what might happen if we let poachers keep hunting? We have elephants and become extinct. So using a modal verb like the one in the question, how would you answer this question? The best way to do it would be elephants might become extinct. So when we're using a modal verb like might, may, or could, the verb, in this case become, doesn't change. Become extinct. What may happen if global warming continues? We have polar bears and lose their habitat. So use the modal verb and answer this question. What may happen if global warming continues? Hopefully you said polar bears may lose their habitat, or polar bears may lose their home. What could happen if we keep polluting the air? So another modal verb, this time we're using could. What could happen if we keep polluting the air? Say your answer out loud. The air could be too dirty to breathe. Maybe everyone walks around with oxygen tanks. How about this one? What might happen if we overfish the oceans? There are a lot of big boats with huge nets that are taking a lot of fish out of the ocean. So look at the clues at the bottom, and using the modal verb, how would you answer this question? It would be a negative. There might not be any fish left in the ocean. It is very dangerous if we keep overfishing. What could happen if we stop wasting food? Everyone could have something to eat. That's a nice idea. Okay, look at this one. What may happen if we are nice to each other? The world may be a nicer place to live. Or maybe the world will be a nicer place to live if we are nice to each other and we care about each other's feelings. Because your feelings are important just like everyone else's. Good job. I hope you're saying your answers out loud. And that's it for this grammar review lesson. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.